Good evening and welcome back to the Mancunian Way. My name is Martin. I'm your host. Joined by Pat. It's Thursday night. Why is he here?
I don't know what's going on. Back to back Friday mornings here, but something's I've still got a job. I've still got a job. I'm not unemployed.
Did you wet the bed? And good evening, Ozzy. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm not too. Thank you, Martin. And it's always good to see you, Pat. Ignore mine.
Feelings mutual. Thanks, mate.
See, look at that. First comment we chuck up. It's the newest member to the Mancunian Way. Has now been announced on his personal Twitter and Instagram. Smash that like. So there you go. Big up, Tone. If you are here, please give the stream a thumbs up. Yes, as you know, it really does help the algorithm, everything. Just saying hello to each other in the chat does help as well. Chat rate and all that good stuff. Giving it a big thumbs up helps as well. Tells you that you're actually enjoying. And yeah, you better get used to seeing all of us because there's loads of us coming your way very soon. Everton are almost safe. No. So nothing to worry about for them. Well, we'll see. We will see. We will talk Everton tonight. Don't you worry. Adam's throwing up the emojis. Subiad, how are you doing, mate? Good evening, Blues. I thought I was already following you on Twitter, by the way, so my bad. Dash, yes, everyone smash the likes and subscribe. Lee Gates, ever present in the building. Connor Rigby's here. Harry's with us. Yes, then, lads, good evening. First half ended in the United game. Cherky's having a very good game so far, but Leon are giving them too much space. Don't tell me anyone's having a good game when United are winning. I'm not having it. No one's having a good game when United are winning. I'm not having it. I'm not having it, Dash. If United are beating anyone 2-0, everyone's having a shocker. Mingyu Wong, they will still be up for it as it's their last season at Goodison. I totally agree, which is why I have gone for the draw at the weekend. We'll get into that soon, though. Let's go Saturday. Akanji is back in training. Yes, he is. Hopefully, we'll get him ready in time for the Villa fixture. I think maybe a bit too soon, that one. But we'll see. He might be on the bench. Hello, DC. How are you? Good evening. It's lovely to see you again. Hope you are well. Hope we win on Saturday and we win on Tuesday against Villa. Colin, hello. How are you, mate? Oh, the Rabble's here. Rabble's here. We'll bring him in a minute. Agreed, we can't afford to drop points now. We have to take every chance to make sure we're in the Champions League. Steve Black says, yo, the thumbnail is making me smile. The time to get serious was weeks ago. I fear we've left it 2 weeks. Yeah, but it is now time to get serious. But we'll see. It should have been weeks ago. I agree, DC. Okay, Steve, how are you this evening? No need to fear Pepe's. No need to fear Pepe's hair. I think I was meant to say. I presume that's what you meant to say, mate. Good evening, Staffy. Good evening, Adam. Pardo Wilkes is in the building. Adam has gifted 5 channel memberships. So if you have been given a channel membership, please say a massive thank you to Adam. And you know what that means?
More than you believe. More than you believe, I'm happy.
He's here. We brought him in.
How are you, Martin?
Well, seeing as you're late, because you got up late.
Well, it was 5:30 when my alarm went off and I just fell back to sleep again.
We can let him off the hook this time, mate. It's a public holiday. It's a public holiday. Let him off the hook this time.
It's Good Friday here, mate. Good Friday, and I'm getting up at 5:30. Listen, I'm getting up at 5:30.
It's not Good Friday in your case.
Don't give me Good Friday.
Another miserable
You're
Friday.
about as Catholic. You're about as Catholic as a bloody. I won't say it. You are not Catholic. Don't you dare be doing the Good Friday stuff.
It's a public holiday here.
That's what you're asked about, the public holiday.
Yeah, and I went out last night for a drink and after work.
No, Caps told me he was not happy with you.
I know, and I went out to a comedy festival with someone had got me a ticket, and I didn't know, so I do apologise.
Evening, all, Steve. How are you, mate? Yes, Steve, still not used to play midweek at games. Well, we're going to talk about I'm not going to go into detail fully unless these people want to talk about the stuff that's come out today. 1894 are coming on Monday night. Do a full show. Because City have now released some details of the season tickets. I just heard a big scream down my ear then.
Sorry.
Whoa. I think a draw will be a very good result. I'm with you, mate, because I think we'll win all the others. The ray of sunshine's here. Oh, Jesus. Don't ever call Alan a ray of sunshine. Has Alan got an Easter egg? Dairy Milk. Have you got an Easter egg, Alan?
No, I haven't, because I try to keep away from chocolate. But there we go.
He walks through the store and goes, "Your chocolate is shit."
Are you sweet enough?
Yeah, I'm going to have to Coles later on, get loads of Cadbury's cream eggs, mate. Don't worry.
You really look like a cream egg. Do Aussies do Easter eggs?
Yeah, they do. There's loads of them.
Well, you can ask them.
I don't think we'll be doing this Easter with the prices of them, though. Bloody hell.
Next Wednesday, Pat is going to start his new show, I believe.
I'm waiting for an invite, Pat.
Are you Aussie now all of a sudden?
Well, I've got a passport.
He's on the show. He's on the frigging show. Jesus.
You got a passport, yet you spend 2 hours every night in a darkened room staring at it going, "This is shit. You're shit. Why do I have this shit? Oh, wait, where do I live again? It's all shit."
David Matt, does that look like a bloke who eats chocolate? Whoa. Calm down, David. Right. Where do you want to begin tonight, gentlemen? Do you want to start with Palace? We've not really talked about it a lot. I know it seems like a very long time ago, but we've all been away, had a mini break. So, like I said last night, I apologise for that. Sometimes you need a break, reassess, rejig a few things around. Or do you want to talk the fixtures that have all changed again? Or do you want to talk transfers, Everton? Where do you want to start? Ball is in your court.
Right, forget transfers, but let's just deal with this season first. And get concentrating on all five. And concentrate. Yeah, exactly. You just concentrate on winning all five.
You're sitting down. We need a standard attention. Adjust your cameras. We've got a standard attention.
Yeah.
Alan's talking.
We need to win.
I salute the general.
Yeah, we need to win all 5 games. Simple as that.
Oh.
Just
that simple as that.
I wish it was that easy. God.
I know. Yeah. It's not going to be easy.
That's the key, making sure everything's shit, so that it just makes your life easier.
Yeah.
So we only need to win 5 games. So you're all right with just 5 wins. We can draw the other one. Because you know we've got 6 games, don't you?
Yeah, I know. Well, you know what
We're not doing that. I'm not announcing ideas on shows anymore. Carry on.
Dear me. It's dead simple. With every single game we've got left, including the FA Cup, and
7 games.
Yeah. Every single game we've got to win them. For us to get Champions League, we've got to win them.
In other news, water is wet.
We could deal with the transfer.
I disagree. I don't think we need to win all 7. Obviously, you need to win the Forest game. Jesus, you need to get through. Yeah. I don't think you need 6 out of 6 wins.
Do you not?
Nope. I think because Newcastle, Villa, and Chelsea are all going to play each other.
Yeah,
someone's going to drop points somewhere.
Yep. And Forest are falling off a cliff as well.
Yeah, Nottingham Forest have decided
they're
don't want
fall.
to be in the Champions League anymore. So they've decided they just want to fall off a certain cliff.
Well, I just think concentrate on ourselves and win every game. We don't get
we're not going to win a game till January prediction.
Right, I was right.
Your prediction. You were not right. You were not right.
I was right. I told you, as soon as Rodri went down, we wouldn't win a game till the transfer window, and I wasn't far fucking short of that. And I was telling you, went bullshit. When I was absolutely spot on, because the way we play through a CDM, and when we didn't play with a CDM against Man United, we nearly fell short there, and we nearly embarrassed ourselves, which is a fact.
Martin, can you put Alan to the bottom of the screen? I don't like it when he's remotely correct.
Remotely correct.
Yeah.
Patrick, how are you, mate? There you go.
Yeah, good, mate. Good.
We'll put the two sensible ones on the top.
Hey.
It's the only time Alan's ever on top. Pause. During match day 35, 36, 37, all our competitors.
I knew he'd do it eventually.
Hello, lads.
Play each other all the like.
Dirty bastard.
Honestly, you're spot on, mate. That match day 35, 36, 37, everyone's playing each other. It's very weird. I don't know. We seem to have missed that one a little bit, which is all right. Because, by the way, when I'm saying, I don't mean easy fixtures in easy. I mean, because it's on paper and every game is hard in the Premier League.
We've just got a better run compared to everybody else.
Yeah. But if you were given
more favourable.
You were giving Chelsea and Aston Villa or Southampton and Fulham or Bournemouth.
Wolves as well. Yeah.
Rajak, can you get in touch with me, mate? I need to have a chat with you as well. Get in touch with me, Rajak, because I know go and show Rajak a lot of love. I need to add his channel into the channels. You know where the description is? Everyone's city channels in there. I need to add Rajak on. So big up, Rajak. I know I see some of your comments and I really do appreciate the support, mate. I really do. I do want to have a chat with you though about some shows. Right, Ozzy Palace. Now I've seen bloody hell. They've gone to 2-2. United.
Are you kidding?
United just wow, really?
Anyway, quickly go over Palace.
Yeah, we certainly can.
Because they got slapped last night as well.
They did. Newcastle are on a bit of a run, aren't they? So, if we go to the Palace game, I think where probably we can start is the lineup. I think when most of us saw the lineup, I think we all were kind of feeling the same way. What's he doing? You know, there was no pace on the wings. It had a lot of the unks in there.
Don't you start with the unks yet. Don't start calling them unks.
You do it.
No, I don't. I don't know where this unk stuff has come from all of a sudden. It's the most cringy word I've ever heard of all of a sudden.
Yeah, it is, but it kind of demonstrates where we're at, really, with that midfield. So I looked at the lineup. I was not particularly happy with it, I will admit. I thought it looked like a bit of a mistake. And for the first 20 minutes, it was. You know, we were 2-0 down. And we could have been 3-0 down if it hadn't been for, you know, a good offside going in our favour. And I feared. I think if we'd have conceded that third, I think I would have thought this is us. It's over. But obviously that's not how the game went. And it was all thanks to Kevin De Bruyne having a masterclass. It just suddenly came out of his retirement, came out and showed us, you know, his best in a City shirt. And, you know, we could say he didn't turn up for United, but no player turned up for United. But against Palace, he ran the show. He really got the game by the scruff of the neck, and he pulled everyone forward, and he just made everything tick that day. You know, and it was just a strange lineup. I couldn't work out how it was going to work. And like I said, for that first 20 minutes, it just looked like a mess. You know, at the back, it didn't seem solid. And just surprises of Lewis starting, about McAtee starting as well. I think most of us didn't see McAtee starting at all. And it's just, I think Kevin De Bruyne just got us out of that mess, in all honesty. And I know Pep was was kind of, after, we'd scored a couple of goals, he was kind of dressed into the crowd to say, listen, I know what I'm doing, I suppose.
Yeah, of course, Canara.
But I thought some of the booing that's been reported was just way over the top.
I heard there was no booing. I heard there was no booing.
I've spoken to people who went, there was no booing.
No.
Don't know where that's coming from.
Yeah, throughout the week, people that were there said there was no booing. Yeah.
There was no booing.
I'm not sure where that came from, yeah.
I'm only going on what I heard. But I'm glad there was none, because I just thought that would have been
See, I'm going to watch the game now. I don't think KDB saved us. I know I'm not trying to disagree with Ozzy again. I know that's becoming a weekly thing. But
certainly is.
Because it was one of them, because I was go-karting at the time, and when I sort of heard the score, and I was getting messages.
Hang on. You were go-karting at the time?
Well, I was watching my son go-kart.
Oh, right.
He was behind the wheel.
No. Bart would just be karting, there'd be no go.
Yeah,
go on, mate. Now go on, mate. You're up.
Harry was there, 100% no booing. Yeah, that's why I heard that. Yeah. So I don't know who started that stupid rumour off. Apparently, I heard the opposite. I heard it was the best atmosphere of the whole season, which was kind of ironic. It's the one game I don't go to, and everyone's atmosphere goes up through.
I was just about to mention that, mate. One of the games you'd love to go to. You weren't bloody there.
I mean, I just
games.
Yeah.
And I got told Palace had scored the goals, but City could have been 2 or 3 up the other way. It was one of them really weird games. Because we'd have chances. KDB, it's the post. Mamouche, for me, that's a penalty and a red card all day long. That was at Anfield. That's a penalty and that's a red card.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Martin, we created opportunities at 0-0, 1-0 and 2-0 down. Like, there was still that sense of optimism that eventually we were going to score. And I thought once we got one, the floodgates were going to open anyway.
Yeah, as I got told, it was one of them very weird games where I think people were looking at the scoreline more than they were looking at the actual gameplay.
Yeah.
And they were venting on the 11. But apparently it was as soon as City got the first, that was it. It was game over at that point. Palace.
It certainly felt like that, but there's no denying that as soon as the first goal went in, it felt there was a change. It felt like, City suddenly found and kicked into gear. There's no denying that.
Well, earlier in the week, I said the way we attacked.
They were playing well already. They were playing well.
Well, I said earlier in the week, they said the way we attacked was similar to like the old Stoke 7-2 game where we just came out and played pissed off because we'd conceded a couple of goals. But if anything now, when I look back on it, it actually kind of reminded me of when we played Palace in the treble season. When we were 2-0 down, we just conceded unnecessary goals.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we just caught fire. And once we got that one, albeit from a lucky deflection from Bernardo, we just absolutely just went on our merry way. And that's exactly what we did there. We just needed one to open up the floodgates, and bang, we just went absolutely mental.
I was not taxi kind. Couldn't get Jackie in the caravan.
Go, Jackie, go.
Go, Jackie, go.
Jackie, go. Go, Jackie, go.
What were you doing, Martin? Was it shaking around?
Go karting with Jackie, obviously, Alan. You're not listening.
There was another earthquake in Melbourne, Alan.
Yes.
But, I mean, obviously, we won 5-2. It was great. It could have been 6, 7, 8, 9 in the end. It really was that dominant. And we're unbeaten in 4 or 5 games now, which I'm really happy with. We now have to take it into Everton. Everton is going to be a hard game. Moyes has only lost 1 game since he's gone back.
Yep.
They won most of them, though, to be fair, late.
I mean, for me, I'd be quite happy with the point because I think we win all our home games and I think we win away at Southampton and Fulham on the last day. I think Fulham will be on the beach come the last day of the season.
I think by the time we play Wolves, they'll be on the beach too because the gap between them and the drop zone is huge already. So.
A lot of people. Yeah. A lot of people. And Newcastle have got to play Chelsea, Villa, Arsenal. So someone's going to start dropping points where we can take advantage of. And I honestly, call me happy clappy. I think we'll get 3rd in the league and I think we'll win the FA Cup. I think we'll finish strong. I think we'll finish the season really strong.
So you don't think Newcastle? I think if we finish anywhere in the top 4, it'll be 4th. I think 3rd's
I think Newcastle will drop. I think Newcastle will finish in the top 5, but I think they'll drop. I think they've got a tough. Yeah, I think they've got a tough run.
Just because of who they got to play, Alan. There's every chance that there's every chance there might even be a rotation of points being dropped. Yeah. So at some point, someone's going to fall, and we're just it's just there for the. There's basically two spots for the taking there for us.
Yeah, I mean, I 100% think Newcastle and City get in the Champions League. I just think we'll sneak third because of our fixtures a little bit. If we can't beat Southampton away, we don't deserve to be in the Champions League. Let's get it straight. They're already relegated, no manager and gone.
Yeah, correct.
So,
correct.
You know, and the thing is, you know, people are starting to come back now. Kanji's back. Stones, he's due back very soon. Ake's due back soon.
I thought Stones was completely shut down for the season.
No,
didn't he end up? Didn't he require surgery or something?
About 2 weeks. He's already had it. He's about 2 weeks away.
Oh shit! Okay, right, fair enough. All right.
Alan's
all right, Martin. So you think we're going to win the FA Cup? Are you on for shameless treble, Daddy?
No, I'm not going to do. I'm not doing a Spartacus and throwing out a real. I'm not doing this shameless treble. I'm not adding the Community Shield in anything. Community Shield ain't winning for nothing.
After the season that we've had, we could still walk away with 2 and a bit trophies. Why not? Why not? Just for the laughs, you know. Just for all the meltdown blues out there, just saying like absolutely terrible season, walked away with 2 and a bit trophies.
Yes, DC. I think if we get to the FA Cup final, he should be back for that potentially. It's whether you're chancing, because believe it or not, I know this is going to shock everyone. There's a chance Rodri may be back before.
He's looking good, to be fair.
And Pep doing his little sarcastic thing last week when he named all his injured players and then went, yeah, we've got all these come back, plus Rodri, and then gave it the old little wink. I thought, you little shit. You know he's training and you're just being a little shit with it.
At this stage, I don't mind if Rodri and Haaland don't come back until the Club World Cup, because I wouldn't be surprised if FIFA's probably... Sorry?
Speaking of the Club World Cup.
Yeah.
Of the Club World Cup. Obviously, there's been some news today. Obviously, did you know with UEFA, I think it's UEFA or FIFA's rules, you are meant to have 4 weeks off in between competitions. So you're meant to have, during the summertime, it's 3 to 4 weeks off, rest.
Right.
Apparently, City may not be getting that. They're going to be nowhere near that. I don't know if anyone's noticed this.
No, they won't, because it feels like it's only a few weeks between Fulham and the first game against, is it Wydad, the Moroccan team?
Well, this is where Omar Mamouche is in a bit of a pickle. Because obviously, City says, this is the report, City players are already facing a summer where their break between seasons could be as little as 3 weeks. There will be no pre-season for the Blues after they finish the Club World Cup in July, before the 25-26 opens in August. If the Blues reach the Club World Cup final and qualify for the 25 Community Shield by winning the FA Cup, it will fall well short of the recommended 4-week off period between seasons.
Can we, if we were to win the FA Cup, can we just technically with the FA just forfeit? They could even just put like first and second of the Premier League against each other or something? Or
no, you're not allowed.
Jeez. All right, well...
Oh, they already approved it. Well, there you go. They've already approved it anyway. But he's not going to get... I think he'll still have to go. There's going to be a lot of... This is a season where we really don't want to take the Community Shield with any kind of seriousness.
Just empty out the academy. Put anybody what 22 years or younger. Put them on the bus. Put them on the bus and off you go.
If we win the FA Cup, send the kids to Community Shield and go.
Absolutely. Yep.
That's what I'd do. But obviously there's a big hoo-ha again, because it has now been announced that our fixtures are being changed.
I was looking for an update. The only one that's changed is Bournemouth.
Yeah, well, yes, but you've got to factor in that the Wolves game is now a Friday night.
I've already had that update, but you made it sound like they did a whole reshuffle of everything.
Now, I'm presuming this changes, but right now, and someone needs to tell me where this comes in. I'm presuming it's because the FA Cup finals on the Saturday before, but our last home game, all of them are being played on a Sunday. I'm presuming that's so they don't clash with the FA Cup. At the moment, it's penciled in for 7 p.m. on a Sunday evening. 7 p.m. on a Sunday.
Who's that?
That's my son on his PS5. Yeah, our last game is the day after the final, but I'm presuming that will get moved.
That'll become midweek.
Yeah, then it'll become the midweek after.
Sure.
Where'd they come up with 7 p.m. on a Sunday? Seriousness, where'd they come up with 7
one.
p.m. on a Sunday?
TV in it again.
But 7 p.m. on a Sunday.
I know.
Yeah, it's madness.
The City app does say subject to participation in the FA Cup final, so there is still a possibility that if we make the final, they'll change it again.
Yeah, that is true.
They'll absolutely change it. Yeah, if they don't, it'll stay that way. And even if it stays that way, that's such a weird kickoff time. You didn't even get a kickoff time like that during COVID.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you got some weird ones, but not that weird.
7 p.m. on a Sunday is absolute embarrassing.
Yeah.
And then they wonder why fans are getting pissed off. Which then leads me into why, obviously, the protest is happening for the Villa game. Is because City have announced, obviously, that, which is brilliant, season ticket prices will be frozen. But you have now got to attend a minimum of 16 out of the 19 Premier League home games now for next season, or you lose your season ticket.
Leon, I've got a player sent off in the last minute.
Yes, yeah, I should say that.
Yeah,
great.
I couldn't. Are you that? What's up with you? You're a Leon fan.
I just don't want United to win the Europa League because they qualify for the Champions League by default because of it.
So what? Arsenal might win the Champions League. I don't know why everyone's getting so bothered about. Everyone's getting really bothered about.
I want United to fucking struggle and not get Champions League. I hate them.
We all do, mate. But don't need to worry about it.
Just worry about our club, and then when things are good again, we can start laughing at them. So, yeah.
I mean, where are you at with the? Where are you at with the 16 out of the 19? Though I've heard some people.
What's the increase from 14 or 15? 14. Okay.
14 out of the 19. It's now going 16 of the 19.
So it's not a dramatic increase, but it's still.
Now, City have said it's to get more people into the ground, which I understand. I do get that. I do get that. Yeah. But there's a lot of. There seems to be a bit of animosity at the moment. I don't know.
I suppose it makes you wonder if City have come back and said, "All right, well, if that's the case, then we've got quite a lot of you who have done about 15 or 16. Then we're going to cut it off at 16. Maybe because majority of the season ticket holders have still been able to follow the 14 minimum." And maybe get to 15 or 16 and said, now it's on you. We're going to create 16, and this is where we go from there. And I think most would be motivated by that. People need to realize too, especially non-City fans out there, just how much of a blue-collar fan base that Manchester City is. And they can't make every single game. So for some, that might be a bit more difficult than for others. But I would like to think that, there wouldn't be – I'd like to hope that there wouldn't be too many out there that would do the bare bones 14 every season. And they should be able to make the new allocation of 16 per for every 19 home games too. So look, I can't speak for season ticket holders myself, but I'd like to certainly hope that 16 shouldn't be a problem for most, but I do understand the circumstances for some. Well,
this is what it says. I will get it up now. Just search and put it on the Manchester City website. And you know what? I do understand it because I think we do need. I understand some of it because I do.
You've got to meet in the middle, man. You've got to meet in the middle somewhere.
That's what I mean. I'm not fully against the club in terms of it. I think there has to be a meet in the middle situation going on. But this is what it said. We're delighted to announce the season ticket members will be able to renew from next week. The club has been working in collaboration with City Matters in order to gather the invaluable input of fan reps. Our aim is to always enhance the matchday experience and atmosphere in every way possible. With every seat filled on every matchday, season ticket members will receive information from the club next week containing all the relevant information about their tickets, how to renew them. They want to formally express their thanks to City Matters within their constructive engagement. Season ticket price fees, which I think is very good from the club. Following consultation with City Matters, general admission, match by match, will be frozen. Ticket utilisation. We have been pleased to see that progress has been made by the introduction of the existing 14-match policy, which has seen utilisation rates increase. We are now expanding the number of matches for which season members are required to manage their ticket, going up. So 93-28 gold and platinum have all got to go to a minimum of 16 of 19. Those fans must personally attend at least 10 games, while they can transfer their ticket or list it on the ticket exchange for the remaining 6. So you are still not going to be able to sell it privately. It will only count in your 16 quota as long as you have put it on the ticket exchange.
Okay, so Martin, you personally have to attend a minimum of 10, and as long as you can
so that's the other
for another
6,
occupy your seat for another 6, you're fine. You're in the clear for another season.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You do that's not too bad. It does seem like you do get a bit of liberty. You get a bit of liberty with your flexibility with
bad. No, it's good and it's bad. There's good points and there's bad points. It's forcing you to sell it back to the club.
Yeah.
That's where the trust is broken. It's the selling it back to the club. That's where the trust is broken.
Yeah. So in your mind, it would be like 99% of the time, I'd rather have my ticket go back into the city community, basically.
Yeah, this is the point, they're limiting your friends and family. Basically, that friends and family, I think, in the end, is going to end up getting phased out.
It's a possibility, isn't it?
I think they're going to start phasing that friends and family part out.
So that could include like myself, Ozzy, and Alan, because we've all got match day membership, citizen numbers. So we could put ourselves allocated as friends and family on your list. But you think in sometime in the near future, that's just going to be completely wiped out.
Yes, that's what I think. So, and I hope you don't mind me saying this, Alan. Someone like Alan who has a season ticket and sells it to his friend, I think they're going to stop that soon. I think that's what they'll stop. Sad, I know. They have said, though, that they are looking, anyone who is an existing Flexi Gold member is going to be able to, or they will be offered a season ticket.
For the new stand?
Yes.
When is the new stand
It's nice
open?
to know they're willing to allocate some season tickets for the new stand. Yeah.
February 26th.
Okay. So he'll say March because he's always
1894 is still not happy. And I agree. I see both sides, which we'll go into this in more detail on Monday night because we're going to do a full show in it. I just wanted to get the lads' point of view. Because Monday night will just be 1894 and the other groups having their say on it for an hour. There is a planned protest again on Tuesday.
What's the protest? What's the protest for?
Season tickets.
Right. Yep.
It was 6 minutes this time, I think.
So he says a number of tickets, day blues, a number of tickets issues remain unsolved. We think updates on these could and should have been clearly given at the same time as price freeze. Up to 10,000 blues took part on the last Leicester City game. So the idea is Tuesday the 22nd, we're inviting supporters who care about ticket issues, notably the availability of full season cards, to meet at the statues again, 7 p.m. for a peaceful protest. And Wolves, Friday, the 2nd of May, we're now inviting all supporters to repeat their concourse action. This time, stay away from their seats for the first 6 minutes, as Pat says. This is to highlight the fact we now face 6 years without proper release of new traditional season tickets.
I think it's good. I think it's good that they're doing some protests between now and the end of the season. Hopefully they'll just get the protests away for the last game against Bournemouth, because I think that should be a game we just focus everything on. Giving Kevin De Bruyne a good send off at home.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I mean, I agree with Harry. This is part 3 night games on the trot as well. Not everyone's going to be able to get to night games. Because this is my point. And Harry, you make a great point. We keep saying Manchester City's a global brand. How the hell does Pat, Alan, someone from America, DC, someone from India get all the way to Manchester on a Tuesday night?
Thing is, Martin, listen, the thing is, when you come from abroad like me and Pat, we don't just come for one game. We come for like 3 or 4 games.
The games are at night, Alan, and they've all been moved last minute.
Yeah.
They're trying to prime time everything. Yeah,
that's just been moved today to 7 p.m.
Yeah.
So it's not really encouraging fans from abroad, or the real City fans from abroad, to come across, is it, Alan?
No,
that's what I mean. So this is where people are misunderstood. This is not just a fight for locals. This is a fight for all Manchester City fans.
Yeah.
This is the big problem. The big problem too, Martin, is when people like myself and Alan and all our blue mates over in the United States, anywhere coming over for matches, is a lot of the time when these people want to book all their flights and their accommodation and everything, that's just based around what the provisional dates are for every single match day. People want to book 6 months in advance. They look, and every single game's going to be 3 o'clock on a Saturday. And by the time your trip comes around, probably 3/4 of those fixtures have been readjusted. So it's so difficult to sort of move around, and it's disappointing, because then people, rather than just maybe wanting to do 2 nights in Manchester, go to go watch a game and then may want to go somewhere else around Europe, and that now all of a sudden they have to readjust and spend several days and miss out on the opportunity to travel more. It's just it just offers no flexibility for anybody. And I know overseas travelers we only make up a slight percentage of match day fans and things like that. But I think you've said it before, Martin. You probably speak for a lot of people as well too, where it's like we have to fork out a lot of money and a lot of time away from home to be able to do these things. And if it means that some people decide to do travel because they want to go on a very, very strict schedule just to save a few quid. And then all of a sudden that's in jeopardy because they just want to continually move the fixtures around all the time. I just think I think what really needs to be done is, I think there needs to be a bit more awareness in terms of, first of all the different organizations for every league and cup have more communication with each other. So then at least when people start making bookings, you can even put, like, say for example, like what is it, the Bournemouth fixture? You could come up and basically say at the start of the season, you could put in by saying, okay, look, this is the weekend, this is the dates and things like that. And if there's an asterisk, just say subject to change, as the FA Cup semi-final has been allocated by the FA this season for this particular weekend. One important thing that I like to do with our supporters group is at the start of the season, when the fixtures come out, the first thing I'll usually do is I'll go into just on UEFA. I'll look at all the provisional dates set for all the Champions League, and that includes everything all the way up into the final. And then I'll also look at what the provisional dates are for the 3rd round and beyond for the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup as well too. Because the sooner our guys know, the sooner that they can start booking everything, and then at least they have a bare bones sort of idea in terms of where they're going to be at the right days, and book things where if things do happen to move 24 hours or 48 hours earlier or later, at least they still have that luxury of being able to be at the destination. They're not going to be in jeopardy of missing a match day fixture or anything like that. So I think there just needs to be a little bit more awareness, not just for the international traveler as well too, but also the domestic traveler, as well. They need to be factored in as well too. The UK resident, the Manchester local, they need to be factored in. We shouldn't have to go in and do all the yards and yards of research. It's like these football clubs know, or we usually, the FA and the UEFA and that will know, they've probably already got dates set up for like the 27-28 season. They just need to just make these numbers public, because it's not like anything that needs to be hidden away. This is important stuff for people to know. And the sooner everybody know, the sooner people can book, the sooner they can plan their holidays, and the sooner more money starts coming in from us, for these organizations.
So it got moved today. The game's in 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks. Ozzy can't book his holidays for 3 weeks' time. Some jobs you need 4 or 5 weeks leeway.
That's what, but Martin, that's why I was saying I don't feel me in that category because again, everything I'm able to do just with my line of work, it has absolute flexibility. Yeah, so I'm a different case. But there's people out there, especially people from my experiences back home, who are like, who have said before, where they're like, the fixtures have changed. Now I'm just going to be able, but literally by the time the match finishes, I've got to go back to my hotel, grab my bags, and then my flight leaves in 3 hours to fly back to Sydney. 6 months ago, when they booked that holiday, they would have been booked to see the match on a Saturday. Then they had 2 days downtime or a day of downtime before they flew home. It just makes it so difficult for so many people. Like it's completely unnecessary as well too. But I think for that reason, just so you haven't got as many people rearranging, wasting even more money rearranging their travel plans, there needs to be a bit more awareness and a bit more understanding and just a bit more like pre-notification and just allowing everybody to sort of work their way around what the fixtures are going to be. It's just poor planning on their part.
Yeah, but
it's also
they care about fans.
Yeah, I mean, it is down to basically the TV companies, picking and choosing what matches they want to show, and it's always going to come down to that, isn't it, though, Pat? That
I know because they're throwing billions every season, and then they just have the will of just any time they want to put it on, they'll put it on. So yeah,
exactly. So
yeah, but like I said, we'll go into this more Monday night. What I want to do with the lads is I want to have a game of predict. Because like you said, the title's right. Time to get serious. So I'm going to put these three boys on the spot. So I'm just going to share my screen. Now I know how to share my screen. I get into all this now.
So it took you how many years, Martin?
So there's the Premier League table.
Good for change the ribbon on your typewriter.
Arsenal, Newcastle, Forest. So do you want to look from Arsenal, or are we getting rid of that? Are we saying, do you want to put Arsenal into it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think there's much point. I think they are probably nailed on for second. We'll have to have a big drop off.
So let's have a look at the fixtures, right? So they're currently on 63 points. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. 63 points. So I don't know how to make the screen bigger. I do apologise. Oh, let me see if I can do that. That might help people. No, it won't. It helps me. Sorry, ignore that. Right. So Arsenal got Ipswich. Anyone saying anything other than an Arsenal win there?
Arsenal win.
Right. So they go to 66, yeah?
Yeah.
So they go to 66. Arsenal Palace.
Arsenal.
Was there?
Well, I guess I wouldn't completely rule out Palace, in all honesty, because as much as they fell against us and they fell against Newcastle, it's still a bit of a London derby, isn't it? And
I was going to say to you, Ozzy, they don't have the form right now, but they always turn up against London clubs.
And I was just about to say, usually, Crystal Palace put on a bit of they will get themselves together and show up against Arsenal. So I wouldn't completely write that off. Is it at Palace or is it?
It's at Emirates.
Emirates. Like I say, if it's at home, you can imagine the crowd getting behind that a bit more of Palace. So maybe a little bit more difficult. But
okay. No, I'm fine with that. So we've got they're at home.
Do you know what,
Emirates.
Martin? Do you know what though? The next fixture would be even trickier, I think, because Bournemouth are trying to push for Europe. They're trying to push for conference. I know they're a few points off, but they're pushing for conference.
Let's just do what I'm saying. Pat's jumping onto fixtures here. You doing?
Well, less said about Arsenal, the better. So yeah.
Right. Ipswich. So Ipswich away, you're saying a win, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right. Palace at home, everyone's saying win or draw?
A win more likely than a draw, but a draw wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah,
right.
No, wouldn't either me.
Right, okay. That's fine. So they're up to 69 points. Then they've got Bournemouth. Alan, where are you at with Bournemouth for Arsenal?
Draw.
They're at the Emirates.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Draw.
I agree with you.
Okay, draw. I like it.
Got to think with Arsenal too, the semi-final fixtures are going to be wedged in there somewhere as well.
Yeah, that's true.
So eggs in the basket, possibly. Never know.
Right, now the big one: Liverpool away.
Liverpool will win that.
Yep.
Okay, I like it. Right, so you're going with a loss.
I don't know. I'm not. I mean, Liverpool have slightly dipped over the last few weeks, haven't they? You know, and if by that point they've won the league, what have they got to play for?
True,
So
Ozzy, but that might be the first game.
win.
That might be the first game as champions too. So they may want to put on display.
They might, but we know sometimes, you know, as soon as you, that relief is off your shoulders, that, you know, the monkey's off your back, you know, you can suddenly just start winding down.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't completely rule out Arsenal.
Yeah.
I think it could be just a dead rubber, in all honesty, because at that point, what have they both got to play for?
I think out of all those fixtures, the two trickiest will be Newcastle and Bournemouth.
Yeah.
In terms of what those opposing teams are going to be fighting for.
Okay, Bron says Chelsea and myself.
Fair enough.
So who we got next? Arsenal, Newcastle. This is where we do come in now.
Newcastle win.
Yep.
Jesus. Alan's got them winning everywhere now.
Playing well, mate. They're playing well.
Yeah, but they're not really playing anyone.
I'll tell you what, we used to think we took momentum from winning Carabao Cups, mate. They've taken some serious momentum from winning that Carabao.
Yeah, Martin, you've got an agenda against Newcastle. You always have.
I haven't got an agenda against Newcastle.
Yes, you have.
If he does, it's just to wind up Baz and Ian.
I've got no agenda against. I've said Newcastle finished in the top 5.
Newcastle finished 3rd.
Okay. Right. Southampton away.
I expect Arsenal, that if Arsenal are in a position where they've wrapped up top 4 or top 5, there's every chance that Southampton might get a win. Because final day, you do see some weird matches. If it was any of the other 37 fixtures all season, I'd say Arsenal win by at least 5. But the last game of the season, you never know.
Yeah,
you never know.
At least a draw.
Right.
I expect Arsenal to win, but the last day I've seen some weird things happen on the final day.
If we put them as a win, and with what you said, you've got them on 73 points. You've only got them getting 10 more points. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, one sec.
So
I was just thinking let's see when Arsenal play PSG. Okay, so they play the first leg's at the Emirates against PSG, and that's on Tuesday, the 29th of April.
Yeah.
29th of April. So that's before they play Bournemouth.
Yeah. I'm now going to do the Newcastle fixtures. Newcastle are 3rd, yeah.
And then, before you do it, and then they play away in Paris on the 8th. The 7th of May. 7th of May.
I love the way Pat is really thinking about this, like really hard.
Well, you got to factor these things in. So it just shows what you're doing as being your channel. But yeah. Do you want to put me at the top of the screen?
The show's going to be 5 hours.
Put me at the top of the screen then, why don't you? All right, fine. You're going to talk.
Go on then.
Right, cool. There we go.
Now 19 hours long.
That's a hideous looking totem pole, let me tell you.
Look, Cherky scored.
No way.
Oh, yes.
Sign him up.
They're doing it with 10. They're doing it with 10 men as well.
And they're doing it with 10.
Yes.
Oh my god. The Saeed meltdown's going to be epic. Oh my god!
Right,
let's
try and be a bit quicker on these because remember, there's 5 teams, otherwise we're going to be here all night. Aston Villa, Newcastle at Villa Park.
Draw.
So they've got currently
too much at stake. Both teams won't want to let anything up.
They've got 59 points so far. Right, so they've got Villa away, and you're all saying draw, yeah?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Given what's at stake for both clubs, draw. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ipswich at home.
God, it could be 5-6, 7-0.
Yeah.
Well, Chelsea said that, mate.
That's two different.
Yeah, but Chelsea can be a basket case in the day.
Chelsea just lost tonight. Yeah, still through to the next round for them, but still they lost. So.
Okay. Right, so we've gone win there. Brighton away.
I think that could be a draw.
Alan?
Where's Brighton on the league table, by the way?
Draw.
Very like
10th.
Okay. Do you think is Europe probably out of the question for them? Like anything in Europe?
No.
No. The
See
points
something to play. See something to play for. So
the points are that narrow between third and 14th. No, maybe not that low, but definitely between third and 10th.
Right. So we'll say draw. Chelsea at home.
Newcastle.
Yeah, the way Newcastle are in form right now.
Yeah, at home, definitely Newcastle.
Again, I think the second leg of the Conference League is around that time as well for Chelsea.
Yeah.
Okay. Arsenal away.
Well, we already said it before. We reckon Newcastle will beat them.
Yeah, Newcastle win.
Well, I think Arsenal just have their eye off the ball. They'll have other things to play for at that point.
Yeah,
Martin's not happy because it's giving Newcastle wins here. He's got an agenda.
No, I'm not got no agenda, Alan. For some reason,
you hate Newcastle.
No,
he doesn't.
Alan, I'll tell you what the agenda is. You have more excitement on Newcastle than you do Manchester City. You sound more like a Newcastle fan. I don't understand it.
Yeah. It's funny because Alan spends his whole day going around selling everything shit. Then he walks across the pedestrian crossing and he's happy.
And then it's like you've got more excitement on Newcastle than you have City. You're not even a bloody Newcastle fan.
It's because they've won.
You know those black and white chef's pants that people wear? I reckon he's wearing those chef's pants underneath the table right now.
No, they've won a trophy, so Alan's on. Right,
they deserve to win a trophy.
No, you've got those zebra pants that old mate broke into Old Trafford with.
Everyone's saying we've got to buy Chirk, yeah. Jesus. We're buying a lot of players this summer, I tell you.
I told you, as soon as he scored, you would see a Cherky side him up. Cherky side him up.
He's crazy. He's crazy. We're going to
Newquay and Everton.
Everton win.
Everton, well, Everton will be on the beach then, so.
Okay. So their total points will be 59. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 14 points, 59, 69. They'll be on 74.
So even if we win every game, we'll still finish a point behind them.
Well, you've got Newcastle drawing or winning every single game.
Me?
Oh no, that's what you've all got, which is fine. Newcastle.
No, I had about 3 draws in there: Villa, Brighton, and
This is what I got. I got Villa draw, Ipswich win, Brighton draw, Chelsea win, Arsenal win, Everton win.
I take it because 5th place gets Champions League. Is it we have to play a playoff if you finish 5th?
Nope.
No. Okay.
Nope. Straight in. There's none. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Let's go to Forest. Otherwise, we are going to be here until next Tuesday, and we still got other things to talk about. Nottingham Forest. Then, so they're currently on their points. They are currently standing at 57. We'll start with their opening game, which will be this weekend. They are playing Spurs away.
Well, Forest aren't in the best of form, but I would, because they're playing Spurs, I have no idea about that one.
But
Spurs
won tonight, haven't they?
Yeah, Spurs won actually. Fair play to go away at Frankfurt's a good performance actually and get a win.
Yeah.
Leo will not be happy because he wants Ange out. So there you go.
It's all right. Australia wants Leo out.
He's moving. He's moving. He's moving, Pat. He's going to Docklands and staying
Yeah,
down
well,
there.
he should be moving to prison, but never mind. Palace.
All right. Forest Brentford.
Well, what have you got for Spurs?
Oh, I'm going to go draw. Both teams out of form domestically, so at the moment, so.
What's that?
Yeah, it's either going to be a scrappy 1-0 or it'll be a draw.
Yeah.
Alan?
I say Forest will win that.
Okay, Brentford at home.
This is a tricky one because Brentford are always plucky when you don't expect them to be.
Isn't their away form better than their home form?
Yeah.
I've heard that, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm slightly leaning
Draw.
towards Brentford.
I think I'll draw.
I wouldn't be surprised if Brentford turn up and win it.
Okay, so we're going for a maximum of a draw. Palace away.
Draw.
Draw. How's that?
Yeah, I go with Pat on that draw.
Jesus, you've completely got them absolutely flipped off here, you lot.
Forest just don't. If I was a Forest fan, I wouldn't be feeling too happy clappy at the moment. It just seems like their form has really fallen off a cliff just those last few weeks. Just or maybe they're just, I think maybe they're just running out of steam.
Right, East Midlands derby, Leicester.
Forest will win that easy.
Yeah, Forest will win that.
Yeah.
West Ham away.
Forest will win that.
Forest will win that. Yeah.
Forest will win that one.
Yep.
Chelsea at home.
The Forest will win.
I say draw.
So they're looking out with it being a draw. 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12. 69 points or 71 points is what you're guessing.
Which is two less than us if we win every game.
Okay, and then we're at us. Everton away.
Win.
Draw.
So our points at the moment are, oh God.
We should end up with them. If we win every game, the maximum we can get is 73.
So we're at 55 points.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going Everton away. What are you saying?
Win.
Draw.
Win.
Draw.
Anyone going for a loss?
No, I'll go for a win, but I'll give it to Dave Moyes. He's put everything to a far better shape.
Oh yeah,
they were
done a great job.
So
okay, Aston Villa at home.
Oh God, this is a difficult one. Villa are a good side. I'm going to say
we can win. I think we can win that one.
I think we'll lose. I think Villa are better than us.
no, I'm going along with Pat on this. I think we can win.
Right. Well, I'm going to win. So you're outvoted, Alan.
Right.
Wolves at home.
Win.
I'm going win.
Win. Wolves will be on the beach by then.
Leon has scored again.
No way.
Also, right. Okay. Southampton away.
Oh, jeez.
I've gone win.
Yeah, win.
Alan.
Win.
Pat.
Win.
Bournemouth away.
Win. No,
Win.
Bournemouth at home. Bournemouth at home.
Bournemouth at home.
Bournemouth
So
at home.
yeah, I'm going win. And I think you'll win at Fulham as well.
Yep.
Yeah. Tough game.
They'll be on the beach, mate.
Fulham on the beach. Yeah.
On the beach.
Oh, this is quality 4-2. This is hilarious.
Right. So we're looking at roughly 63 points, which is what I'm. No, why am I saying 63 points? Jesus, that's wrong. 73 points. Yeah. Yeah.
As I said, I think we'll draw one of those fixtures. So we're looking at somewhere between 71 to 73 points.
Awesome.
I think I think goal
or a
difference
loss,
could
70,
freeze us
70
as
to
well.
73.
I think goal difference might come in our favour as well on this.
Well, according to this lot, we could end up with the same points as Arsenal with what you predicted.
Hmm.
And then Chelsea. Do you want to do Chelsea and Villa? Because they're both on 54
Just briefly,
points.
but factor in the Conference League for them as well too, which is at the end of April and the first week of May.
This is where we knock Chelsea out. Fulham away. London derby.
Yeah, London, and they've not played. Didn't they lose the last to Fulham?
Yeah,
well?
Fulham will turn up. I'm predicting at least a draw.
Yeah, if not a win.
Yeah, that's very, very true. Yes, best Demesh. How are you, mate? Hope you're well. Pardo's gone with a loss versus Fulham, versus Villa. Okay. By the way, we've got to this early. Mark Harris has renewed for a 14th month. Thank you so much, mate. And then has gifted a 5-channel membership to people as well, which is amazing. Thank you so much, mate. Do appreciate that. Thank you so much for your amazing support. Thank you. Where are we at now?
You're going to put your Sting?
You put in Liverpool.
More than you believe?
We're at Liverpool. So we're at Chelsea, Everton, home, Stamford Bridge. I'm going Chelsea win. Cole Palmer's got to turn up at some point. He can't keep being on milk cartons.
Yep. Well,
I'm
going with a win, but a draw wouldn't surprise me.
No,
it's such an Everton result. Everton could get a draw out of that.
Yeah.
Chelsea, Liverpool, Alan.
Liverpool.
Right, and you've all gone for Newcastle beat Chelsea.
Anybody think possibly Chelsea Liverpool could be a draw? They do draw this fixture a lot at Stamford Bridge.
I've got a feeling Liverpool need to win that one to win the league, I think.
Yeah, good shout, actually. And then I think the following week they play at home against Arsenal. So
yeah. Chelsea United. Chelsea.
United have got a penalty.
Bloody hell. Can we focus on...
Sorry, let's just say it's a dodgy one as well. That's outrageous.
Will they go upstairs?
It's been upstairs, and the referees had a look and have given it, and it's never a penalty.
Right. Do you want to do Villa? Is Villa a tough one we could look at?
I could see Villa winning it.
Winning what?
Against Chelsea. I'm sorry.
Because this is what I'm saying. You've already said Newcastle are basically winning at Villa.
No, I said draw. I think that game. Both teams have too much to play for. I think it'll end up being a draw.
Alan thinks Villa are beating City.
4-3.
See, this is the problem. We're all playing each other. Someone's got to give somewhere. But yeah. So if we're looking at it this way, City should get in the top 5. City are going to finish on 71, 73. Forest 69 or 71. And at the moment, goal difference is City are on plus 20. Forest are on plus 13.
Mm-hmm.
City have got the 4th best goal difference in the league behind Newcastle.
Arsenal never sounded so good.
So yeah, we will see. I think it'll finish Liverpool, Arsenal, City, Newcastle, and then Villa.
I still wouldn't write out Forest not getting that 5th spot.
I am. I think we finished 3rd. Newcastle finished 4th, which proves Alan's point that I'm not saying I do hate them. Pardo thinks we'll finish 5th. Wow. Okay. Even with everyone playing each other, Pardo. We can finish 3rd or 4th, yeah. I don't think City lose a game all season. No.
Like I said, it's never sounded so good, Alan.
I don't think.
I'd like to think, and we've seen this before from other teams too, where you see a lot of teams, especially like more your top four sides, if they have a really good run of form on the way home, regardless of where they are in the league, it usually reflects with a good start the following season. I would love to see us win these next 6 in a row, not just because like to get into the top 4, top 5, but to see, because you just know for a fact that I think we're going to take that momentum from the end of this season and put it into the start of next season. I really do hope we can get a really good run of not just wins, but good form. I think that's something we can really take into next season.
But Pat, if you take out the United game, our form has been a lot better.
Oh yeah,
Do you know what
yeah,
I mean?
absolutely.
Over the last few games, we talked about it. You know, you take that game out, it's been a lot better.
Yeah,
compared to where we were in December, January.
True, mate. But I also think that the performance against United also woke us up against Palace as well. And you know, like we've looked back on previous seasons where we've had a poor performance, then all of a sudden it's just woken up the team and got us on a good winning run. Now I don't know if we'll get on a winning run between now and the end of the season because I don't have as much confidence in the team as I have from previous years. But sometimes all that team needs is just a spark or a slap in the face for them to get going again. And I think maybe the poor performance at Old Trafford will do that, or has done that already, given the last 60 minutes against Palace. You know, you can go back to previous seasons as well too. Look at the run of 9 we needed to win last season. Look at the performance away at Forest in the treble season, and all of a sudden we caught fire after that. The formidable season we lost away at Newcastle, and we went mad. You know, so sometimes all the team needs is just a little bit of an off performance, or a performance where they play good but weren't clinical with the finishing, and then all of a sudden they wake up and start playing to their full potential. And I'm hoping that Old Trafford was the wake up call that we needed. And if anything, what happened on the weekend against Palace was sort of proof of that starting to happen. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nunes in defence. Well, I don't think Nunes will be in defence for much longer, Pardo. We'll keep making bozo moments with in defence. Both in that respectable finish with an FA Cup final appearance. I said, I just think we will finish undefeated for the rest of the season. Like you said, as long as it's top 5, I don't care. We finish it, it's all the same. Which Dars backs up anyway.
At this point, as we've been saying for weeks, Martin, as much as like we'd like to say we'd like to play into some form, and it's more just about the results right now. It's about those 3 points.
Great point.
Yep. Win at all costs. Well, maybe not all costs, but
yeah.
Just get over the line.
Spot on. Absolutely spot on. I think we get 4th. Alan, you just don't seem confident at all at the minute, mate.
No, he's watching United.
If I had a bit of a Geordie accent, mate. If I was a bit of a
second team.
He's watching.
I get grow in a photocopy. You'd be loving it, mate, wouldn't you?
Well, listen, you can't do a Geordie accent. You can try with something else. But no.
You can't do supporting Manchester City, you fake.
No.
I can do a Newcastle accent. It's just the wrong Newcastle.
No. Yeah. Newcastle in Australia.
Great town, by the way.
I think it all depends on our next 2 games. I really do. It's tough. The next 2 are tough.
Oh, it's 4 each.
Oh,
no way.
Oh, no, please.
It is.
What happened to buying rain turkey, everyone? Where's the rain turkey?
Bloody hell.
For fuck's sake. Fucking hate them bastards. I really do.
He's so upset that his second team's drawing.
Fucking hate those bastards.
It's all right, Alan. Go watch a replay of Newcastle Palace yesterday.
Time.
They'll make you feel better.
God, we should have gone live a lot later.
It's
in extra time now. You doubt.
Yeah, it's literally at the 120th minute now.
Mate, Pardo, that doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what we deserve, pal. Just get what we're doing.
Just 5 or lower. I just want 5 or lower.
Stop getting. Everyone's getting too hyper on the way we're playing and the way we've been.
We've not exactly been consistent, have we? Let's be honest.
Right, but Alan, we're allowed to drop off.
Oh yeah, I agree. But we have to get top. If we want the players that Pep wants, we have to get top 5.
What, United scored? No way.
Jesus, I need to start watching this game and bollocks to the show.
It's 5-4 to United.
We do a watch along.
Yep. Fucking cunt.
Fucking slabhead.
This is.
Watch the C word, Alan.
Sorry.
United scored, you might need third. No, we won't. We'll be fine. Damn it. How long is that game? Feels like. Is it into extra time now?
Yeah.
It's extra
Yeah,
time with
well,
extra
it's last
time.
minute. It's last minute.
It's in like the 122nd minute.
Okay, now. No wonder. I'm wondering why our views have been dead. And then I've just realised I'm not obviously people. By the way, can I just say a massive thank you to the people who are here? You are legends. Every single one of you. A massive thank you. We honestly, tear to the glass eye, you're all legends. Each and every one of you. Thank you so much.
Jesus bastards.
Rather be here than watching United. Come on, I like it. Proper Mankway supporters, this 103. Big up to them all. Big up. Alan, piss off on Newcastle Fan TV. You fake Geordie bastard. Anyway,
should we move on to some of the transfer rumours then, Martin?
Oh no, because do you know what? Since January, we've signed 74 players in the summer. 74 with that many different names.
You've supported 74 teams since January.
Yeah, we're only talking about City transfers, not Newcastle, Alan.
But mate, we've signed everybody even since January. I'll tell you that now.
Hang on. Let me call you out on something right now, Mr. Allen. I won't give you your full name because I don't want to dox you in the middle of a show. But Alan, put your glasses on straight to begin with. Right. This is Alan, who spent all January. We need that Douglas Luiz. That Douglas Luiz is a quality player, you know. What a player. Douglas Luiz, quality better player in. Right. Yeah. And then moans about other players that we've got who are just as shit as Douglas Luiz.
Nunes.
Right. Which, by the way, you were right on. I will hold my hand up. You were right on him. He's not Manchester City level. He's not a shit player or a tram driver.
No, he's a tram driver.
Well, he's not. No, he's really not. He is a good footballer. Whether he's Manchester City level is a different, obviously.
No, it's not.
But this is why transfers are very hard at the minute. Because you get people like Alan who are just so desperate for any signing, they'll take anyone.
No, that's not
true.
No,
you do. No, Alan, you was. Be honest.
Man United do that. Man United just
pay big. You would have done that if you'd been in charge.
Alan, I will pick up videos right now where you were literally dreaming of Douglas Luiz.
You were.
Well,
we've got to get him. We've got to get him.
We've got to get him at all costs. The season's over and Douglas Luiz does not go in that door.
We needed a CDM, mate. That's what I said.
You just wanted a warm body.
I'm pleased what we've got.
Stop, Pat.
You bloody started it. You won't blame me if I finish it.
Oh, fucking
what I'm saying is, it's like this Ryan Cherky stuff. Yeah, he's a good player. But is Ryan Cherky actually Manchester City level? Serious. Because here's my thing. No one was talking Ryan Cherky 6, 7, 8 months ago. Nobody was. I know everyone will suddenly say they were, but they weren't.
No.
I've done enough shows to know no one was talking Ryan Cherky.
He's a FIFA player.
He's a flavour of the month player. It's like this thing today, Alan. Everyone says Morgan Gibbs-White. If he was called Morgan Gibini or Watinho, people would be all over it.
You mean Blanco?
Yeah. If he was Portuguese or Spanish, Brazilian, people would love him. People think he is the Wirtz replacement. He's not. He's the number 8. They want him to be the engine of Manchester City, not the creator. And what did Pep say last week? We need engines in the midfield. We need engines. That's what Gibbs White is. He's an engine that will go up and down, up and down, up and down. Which will then allow Foden and Verts to do their creativity.
Do you really think we're going to get Verts? Be honest with yourself.
I'm 50-50.
Yeah, I don't think we will. I think you're right by saying he will choose another club before us.
No, I think in all honesty, Alan, I think it's really between us and Bayern.
I agree. Are you
ruling Real out completely?
Yeah. The reason I'm running out
pending what happens with Ancelotti.
No, because Ancelotti's going. That's already been.
But then for that reason, they'll get Alonso in, and Alonso will bring Wirtz with him.
Yeah, I hear that, but the thing that I don't buy into that is just because they've got so many options in that midfield, and to bring in, I would just be surprised. And I think from what's been reported that I think he is leaning more towards Bayern, but I think that's basically because he's coming from his dad. It's also there's not a lot of German players come out of Germany, especially when they're wanted by Bayern Munich. So I think we're on the list. I think a few things that go in our favour is that he's one of those players from Germany who definitely wants to not only win everything, but I think he wants the acclamations as well. I think he wants to consider himself for a Ballon d'Or, and I think the likeliness of winning a Ballon d'Or at Bayern is very unlikely. And then Bayern haven't won that in with a player for 30 odd years, I think it is. So I think if he wants those type of accolades, he's going to have to come out of Germany. And I think realistically, because again, what's been reported that Cheeky and Pep have been having a conversation to say we've got rid of Kevin De Bruyne. You're going to be the Kevin De Bruyne replacement. You're not only going to get his wages, but you're going to be our creative player for the next 10 odd years. You're going to be that main man in midfield for us.
That's your question, Ozzy. When you mentioned Alonso going to Real Madrid, what about Klopp going to Real Madrid?
I know that came out today, didn't it? Or it was today that the rumours that he was looking at coming out of the Leipzig setup because he wasn't happy. Yep. Again, I don't know. I mean, there's a possibility, but again, I think if you're being brutally honest, if you're Wirtz, you're looking at managers. You can either stay with the current manager you are at with that might go to Real Madrid.
Yeah.
With Bayern, no offense to company, but he's still early in his management career. You want to play under the best manager in the world, who is going to make you one of the best players. You're going to have to look at what Pepper's done. I just think, to look at that, that's the better project. If you want those accolades, you want those, I want to be the next Ballon d'Or. For me, he has to think about coming to City. I'm not saying 100% he's coming to us. But
it's a good shout from Ozzy.
That's what I personally think.
Because Rodri wins the Ballon d'Or. You win the Champions League, it's there. And by all means and circumstances, and this is why I didn't understand the Pep Guardiola outers, and Pat's made this point for a number of months now, Pep Guardiola is one of the biggest draws of top players coming.
Yeah, he is. He is.
Totally. So why did you want him out then?
Who?
You wanted him out for Eddie Howe. You said sack Pep and get Eddie Howe in.
No, dude, you're just making shit up on the top of your head. Yes, you do. You're just making shit up here to try and wind me up. So I didn't want Eddie Howe. I rate Eddie Howe. I do a bit. I rate him.
What's his name?
Eddie Howe. I rate him. I think he's a good manager.
Say that. You said it.
Listen. You just slag Newcastle off because you've got a massive agenda against them. And you
I
have.
haven't. I've got friends who are
Hang
Newcastle
on.
fans.
Listen, I don't care. Since we've been watching football and I've been on a show with you, even on Man City Fan TV, you've had an agenda against them.
No,
Alan,
because I
can we
don't
stop with the agenda stuff? It's
No.
getting boring, mate.
No, what it is for me, Alan, is everyone's made Newcastle their second club. I've been to Newcastle. Newcastle fans can't stand City, a lot of them. Some of the nice ones do.
I've been to Newcastle as well.
But they don't talk to us like people are talking like they're enamoured. It's their second team. I don't know where that's come from.
It's the
their
ownership.
fan base deserve it.
Well, they do deserve it.
Yeah. But anyway, no, the serious thing, I think that could happen.
Do you? Okay. Well, I hope. Listen, I hope.
I think it's more. I think it's more likely than the Bellingham link when we had.
Yes, 100%, and the Declan Rice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Part of what makes point. We need to stop saying replacement for KDB. There is no replacement for the Belgian king. There is
no. What I mean by the replacement, I just meant as in, the next player to come in. There's no ever replacing Kevin De Bruyne. Like there was no replacing, David Silva. Do you know what I mean? You can't replace those players, but you do have to bring somebody else in to create chances.
Exactly. And you know what? They don't even play the same, to be honest. So, I mean, people need to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I think you're right with Morgan. I think he's the engine. I look at him more as the Bernardo Silva replacement again because Bernardo Silva has that engine, that drive that we saw for so many years with City. So I can see him being that replacement because the links recently with Bernardo Silva is that he's possibly going to leave back to Portugal in the summer. There've been a couple of strong reports saying that he's looking that he might leave. And I know that we felt like he's going to be leaving for the last few years, but
last 6 years, Martin's been saying he's going.
You? No. I said he wanted to go, and that's true. He did. Did he not want to go?
Did he go? No, he didn't.
Because he couldn't find a price. Well,
I'm sure I said, did he want to go? I didn't say, did he go?
Listen. Oh, dear me.
I know, Mark, I've noticed. Big up to the 75 people who just joined us now. Why you've been watching United, I don't know. You need to give your head a wobble. Where have you been for an hour? Yeah. Pat, if I'm going to give you, I'm going to give you 20 quid. And I'm not encouraging Ben. 20 quid. Yes or no? Are you putting your money on Bert staying, going somewhere else, or joining Manchester City? Where would you put your money?
Can I ask everyone to put super chats in because that 20 quid ain't going to come from Martin. But anyway, I don't know. It's a tricky one because I know his head's going to be turned by Bayern. The whole Germany partnership with Musiala and things like that. That's going to be as big a head turner for him as Pep and our project will be a head turner itself. So it's a very, very difficult one to think about right now. Now, if you'd asked me this about maybe 6 weeks ago, I probably would have said no, Bayern, because it did seem from all reports that he had his heart set on staying in Germany. But now that I think, there is a possibility that maybe he's put his ear to listening to our project, listening to Pep, listening to what Pep wants to do with him, there is every chance now that he could be persuaded to come over to Manchester. The thing that I find a bit interesting too is if you kind of had a look at the way sort of Alonso was playing that Leverkusen squad over the last couple of seasons, I get a feeling that maybe Pep might be starting to play with a bit more up-tempo, speedy, dynamic sort of players and things like that, like similar to what Leverkusen had done in the Bundesliga for the last, say, 2.5 seasons or so. And I think the reason they're interested in Wirtz right now is because he is that sort of midfielder that can do that. He is a midfielder that plays at his best when it's high tempo, it's fast paced, and there's a lot of quick passing between players or running onto long balls and things like that. And I think that's sort of like what we're leaning towards doing for next season. And I think that's part of the reason why City are really, really looking at trying to get this guy, because we want to look at our next quote unquote Kevin De Bruyne, but we want a creative midfielder that influences the squad in a different way to what Kevin De Bruyne does. You know, Kevin was special because he didn't need to dribble past 5 or 6 players to score a goal or create a massive assist. He could create a pass that could get past 5 or 6 players to get to that attacker or something like that. I think Florian Wirtz is the sort of player who'll be looking to get in between defenders, help break the lines down and things like that. And I think what we could possibly see with Wirtz is we may see a player that could be could get to levels of Kevin De Bruyne but get there a different way. And I would love to see Florian Wirtz. Don't get me wrong, I'd love to see him play for City. But if anybody out there is thinking that he's going to come in there and play the sort of passing game or create the sort of assist that Kevin De Bruyne does, it's not going to happen. Those sort of performances will be coming from him being able to play 1-2 football with attackers. You'd be interested to see what his link-up play would be with someone like Phil Foden or potentially Morgan Gibbs-White. We don't really know what to expect yet, but all I know is that when it works, it's going to be a different sort of creativity to anything that we'd seen for the last 10 years under Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah, because he plays very well with their kind of wing backs.
Yes.
He feeds off the wing backs.
Yes.
Like really from that team.
Yes.
So I agree with you, Pat. I think that's the way he'll be utilised at City.
You got to look at the link-up plays that he has with his current midfield as well, too. Like, for example, there is some, Martin, I believe there's some reports going that we are also interested in their, is it Palacios as well from Leverkusen?
I don't know. Yeah. There's a shitload.
There is some reports going on, but
have you seen Paqueta's agent? Paqueta's agent's making his gob go again now.
That's 76, now 77. New players we've got now. It's going well, isn't it?
None of them are Douglas Luiz, Alan.
Fucking 77. Different bloody names.
Who's it, Alan? Have you got like a tally in on the wall somewhere, like a prisoner counts down him and counts how many years he's been behind bars?
I worked it out last week. Since January, I went through the internet. We've been linked with 76 players now. 76.
You've got too much time on your hand. If 75 of them have come from me. I'm joking. That was a joke.
Oh,
I was getting in before Ozzy did.
I was on the verge.
Every year we have this discussion about transfers. I know what happened. Bellingham, Rice, now Wirtz.
Now, hang on. Martin, I want to talk to you about this because you said no way. Vincent Kompany is going to clearly win the league in the Bundesliga. So what do you think?
Yeah, he's not winning the Champions League, though, is he?
No, but now they're a City. So what do you think when Pep decides to hang his boots up in 2 years? Do you think Vincent now Kompany qualifies to take over? Why?
We're a long way from that kind of talk, Alan.
I'm going to Alan. Why? Because Bayern have won the league God knows how many times, Alan. You'd win the league with Bayern Munich.
There's also apparently talks with, or have been with Frimpong. No solid talks, but definitely talks.
Yeah. Because again, the English quota might become a factor, but yeah, we'll see.
Simmons, I don't know, it's like Turkey reminds me of Dimitri Payet. Oh, God. Dimitri Payet. He was another. Do you know who Turkey and Payet remind me of?
Be careful.
And listen, if I'm wrong on this. I will say I'm wrong. And maybe not. Do you know who Turkey reminds me of? Do you remember Alwar?
Yeah, Hassan Alwar. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Who just
all
basically
the hype, all the glitter,
who basically became like he became the new Isco.
Yeah.
Are we still linked? Actually, Alan, does your 77 rumors include Isco?
No. George, do you want to make it 77? I can add him.
That's my point, though. It's I have reservations on Shirker. So cheap. I know they've got financial problems, but you wouldn't sell him. It's that cheap. And why has no other club come? Any other point?
The other thing too, Martin, as well, is I get Rabiot vibes with him as well too. I've heard that he's a real problem in the clubhouse, and I don't know. I think he's got his family as his agency or something, and apparently they're really, really hard to deal with as well. Yeah. So it's a bit like Rabiot. Rabiot's similar. Clubhouse cancer, and his mum's just a pain in the ass for any club to deal with. Can
you email me that emoji? I'm stealing it. I'm loving that emoji. I'm loving that picture. I love the old sharp thing. We need a striker. That Maguire guy looks handful.
I've just seen this tweet. That says,
I agree with that one.
in quotes, it says, "I believe in miracles," says Rio Ferdinand, as Man United score winner against 10 men Lyon, who are 22 points off the top of the table in Liga.
I think with transfers, there's a lot to go on. I think the biggest thing we need to look at is who leaves. Who leaves will give us the biggest indication who comes in.
Well, I also think it's looking more and more likely that Grealish is out the door.
Mm-hmm. What I think you'll see is, I think you might see some swap deals or loan deals. Not as in swap, as in direct swap. It'll be, we do that. Do you remember how we did the Kushnov deal? As long as Jima Bar went to Lons on loan, things like that. So we get that player as long as Grealish goes on loan to that club. That sort of thing.
There's also McAtee and Ortega to
Yeah.
Leverkusen, isn't there? You know,
Turkey's an absolute baller. Dash, I'll say it again. Why has no club ever gone for him? It's all opinions, mate, but don't give me attitude. But no other team has gone for him. Why?
Yeah, I think Pat was right, because there has been a lot of kind of things said behind the scenes that his attitude is that he's let it go to his head that he thought he was going to be the next big thing. And City don't want those type of players in the dressing room. They don't want, attitude players. They want people who have, got the right attitude, that are down to earth, who are humble, that are wanted to come to City for all the right reasons. And he does not scream that type of player. So I think you also have to take that into consideration, that City want a settled dressing room.
Yeah.
Because Wirtz, he's that kind of guy. Wirtz has got apparently a very good attitude.
Yeah.
Very down to earth.
A lot of people asking about Grealish. I think Grealish will go on loan. I think he'll go on loan.
But the rumours are that Tottenham is probably the number one shout.
No way, you can't afford it. They won't be able to pay his wages.
That's why he's going on loan, Alan. Loan.
Yeah.
So we have to pay his fucking wages.
No. We might have to pay some, but we won't have to pay a lot. Tottenham will have to pay a lot of it, but there won't be a lot. They won't have to pay a fee. The loan fee will come off the eventual price tag if they want to buy him.
Oh, God.
I could also see him as someone like Newcastle.
Yeah, I could.
Not on those wages, Ozzy.
Not on those wages, but again, if it's
back up to them wages.
No, but what I'm saying is what I'm saying is that if it's a loan, and we're subsidising some of the wages.
Yeah, we're talking on the grand, mate. We're not. Newcastle will struggle to get to 200.
Well, if they get Champions League,
Doku do one as well.
They've still got to buy players, Ozzy. This is what people forget. Your wages go into your PSR.
Doku can do one. Doku's not good enough. He's a headless chicken.
I mean, David will say this. I think there's only one player on nearly 200 grand at Newcastle. I don't. They haven't got many big earners up there in terms of big earners.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. If it's a loan, then it's
but City won't pay 150 grand a week towards Grealish. No chance.
Mm.
I would like to think they wouldn't do that. I think that's madness. Yes, that is true. Forest and Palace do want McAtee. Now he was shit against United. He just got the goal. Yeah, no, listen, it's an opinion. Toxin Blue, it's an opinion on Shaker. Some are going to love him. Some are not going to like him. It's all opinions, mate. My thing is not whether he's good. And my issue is why no one has ever gone to him.
Martin, what's your view on Doku?
I would give him till next season.
Why?
Because I think every player should be given 3 years, and then that's it. If you're not there, you're not there.
I think you have to remember, because
So Nunes stays for another. So Nunes stays for another year.
No, because Nunes isn't Doku's age.
Yeah, and I made this point last week where I said with Doku, you have to remember, like, if you count his first season where he came in, we all say that every player's given at least their first season in, because after, especially with Pep Guardiola, it takes some players a lot longer to acclimatise to the way we play. I think you have to look at this season as being an extra season where the team has not been great, and I think it's affected everybody. So I think you have got to give him a third season, and you've got to let him settle properly and play with better players, basically.
Well, properly. He's had 2 years, man. Yeah.
Grealish should have 3 years, Alan. That's a problem.
I'm not saying Grealish, but I'm talking about Doku here. Doku's a headless chicken. There's no end product.
I wouldn't disagree with you, but
no, I'm not disagreeing with you. But he's young enough that he's still got time.
But it wouldn't surprise me if he is one who leaves.
Yeah.
I think we have to be careful, Martin, because,
we're not signing everyone.
No, exactly. I don't think we're going to. We've got a number of players that need to leave the club, for various reasons, and they're way before the likes of Doku go. Doku will be given another season.
What number of players should we be getting? I think we need 2 fullbacks, right and left. We certainly need a playmaker in midfield who's got an engine up and down. I think we need.
Well, that's why I said the Morgan Gibbs White, but
yeah. I agree with you as well on that. I think he's a very good player.
See, that's it. Davies and Newcastle man, he said they're a bit thing on the wages. That's the problem with the Grealish.
Yeah.
You know what?
Listen,
I think Grealish should suit Newcastle down.
And that's what I'm saying. I could see him at Newcastle's more. I didn't say it was a definite. I just said he's the type of player where we fell in love with him as a fan base. When he first came to City, he's that down to earth player.
Nick, allow other opinions, mate. Your opinion, don't come in there name calling because you won't last long. People are allowed other opinions. And we're going to come in here starting ageist. We don't do this ageist crap, mate. So please have a bit of respect. Bang out of order, mate. It's your one and only warning. I've already said this. If you're abusive in the chat, you're not wanted. Simple.
Listen, I mean, I don't agree that what Alan has said, but I'm not name calling.
We're not doing that. We're very much like the South Stand. If you start being a dickhead, you're gone.
Disagree with
you
me.
Like. Agree with people, but don't start name calling and being ageist.
Call him a dinosaur. I do.
Because we could
be an Alanist. You can be an Alanist, but not an ageist. Yeah, be an Alanist. Yeah.
Be an Alanist, definitely.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, Nick, I agree with that. I don't think Doku is good enough.
Yep. He's not. Not for us, anyway. We need to get back to the top of the tree. And Doku, I don't think is going to be good enough to take us there.
I also think you've got to look at. You've also got to look at competition, Alan. Like his competition has been non-existent because Grealish hasn't been there to challenge him properly this season. So it has been Doku or Savinho.
Might be stupid. Last warning.
That's not Nick from Box Hill, Melbourne, is it?
I don't know what it is. He sounds like someone who's a FIFA merchant.
Right, okay.
So, hang on.
That's fine.
Jay, how you doing, buddy? How you doing, Jay?
Jay Fresh.
I need to have a chat with you as well, mate. Email me. Email me, Jay.
I have to go in a minute, Martin, by the way.
Can I just say something? The one thing I am a bit thing on, these unks, everyone's 30, 32, and they're old and they're decrepit and they all need to get out. Well, I'm sure Salah, Van Dijk, Modric are all in the mid-30s, but no one's telling them to get out of the football club.
Modric is in his late 30s.
Well, exactly. Yeah. Do you know what makes me laugh is everyone wants to go like 22, 21. Everyone wants a youth team all of a sudden. I don't know why.
But for me, it's not just about their age. For me, it's about the quality of the player and where their current levels are at. Do you know what I mean? Like, so the likes of, say, Kovacic, who is still, what, 29, just 30? You know, I'm not calling him an old player, but he's been pretty much awful this season. Like, he's as we've all said, he's just not good enough to start for this team. We can't rely on him in the starting 11. He's not a bad player to bring off the bench at times. You know, he can score the odd wonder goal here and there, but in the starting 11, no. Gundogan, we've seen over the last few games, he's played well, but in all honesty, he, as we all said when he first came in, he needed to be come off the bench for the last 10, 15 minutes of a game. You know, he's been relied on too much. Kevin De Bruyne, as much as we all love him, and as much as he had a brilliant game against Palace, his legs are gone. His physicality it's broken him the last few seasons.
Yeah, he's had too many injuries, hasn't he? He's had too many. And the thing is,
it's not about the age.
He played well last week, but can he do it game in, game out from now to the end of the season, every single game, and look fit? The problem is
but that's not the bit that concerns me, Alan. It's not the last 6 games. It's if we were to sign him for an extra year, and then just to say, right, we had a number of injuries. Can we rely on him to come in and play half a season at least if we've got a number of injuries in the midfield?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Can we rely on him to do that? I don't think any of us can honestly say that he's at that level where we could rely on him enough.
My opinion's changed. My opinion's changed over the last few months about it. Like, I've said I'd happily give him another year, but just now that he's gone, I'm actually kind of glad that he is. The longer he stays, the more and more there's a risk of him falling into the same boat as Kyle Walker. Not in terms of what's happening off the pitch, but just in terms of injuries are just going to take their toll, and we will be looking at it saying maybe we should have let him go. But I think you got to look back. You got to look back on the club as much more than Kevin. And I think it's a very, very brave, a very ballsy decision of the club to decide not to extend him. And I wonder if Kyle Walker was a factor in that as well too. So I think the club's got in these situations, the club has got it right more than they've got it wrong. So I think it's one of these things where we'll look back on this in 6 months' time from now. And we'll probably look at saying that, there will be elements of it where it'd be like maybe a disappointing performance. You say, Kevin would have taken that by the scruff of the neck. But I think we'll be saying that less than what we would. We'll be saying those sort of things less next season than we'll be saying. Then we will be saying like, Kevin, I'm glad Kevin left when he did. So, I credit the club for making a very, very ballsy decision on that.
See, I agree with this, by the way. I don't care. Great point about City Focus. Don't care how old the player is, as long as they can still help the squad. I think what we've got a bit confused is certain players have not just become shit because they're old. Some of them are just knackered.
Yeah.
You got to remember Bernardo Silva and Phil Foden. Foden we know about, but Bernardo Silva's played the second most minutes of any player in the last 2 to 3 years. The guy's knackered.
Yeah.
If you'd have said to Bernardo, play 20 games less this season, you might have got a tune out of him. No, people are forgetting. Our squad has been small quality-wise. I'd agree with that. We didn't bring in enough players over the last window or two. And what's happened is we've literally driven these players into the ground. We've drilled every ounce of energy, every ounce of stone, every ounce of anything.
So and injuries have forced these players to be driven in the ground even further.
We don't know. Is it their age why they've dropped? Or is it because they're knackered why they dropped? I know you've got a job, Alan. Take care, mate.
See you, Alan. Take care, mate.
See you, mate. Have a nice Easter to everyone at home, back in Whitefield and Bury.
Oh, don't forget, eat your fish on Good Friday. Fish.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Chippy tea for dinner.
See ya. Bye-bye.
We've got to look at, is it age or is it burnout? And that's what you do. I can't tell at the minute which
I think in this season, Martin, it's both.
And which one is burnout at the moment.
I think it's both. Yeah, I think it is both. But I also think, you can't lean too much the way Chelsea do. You can't lean on, complete youth and not have that experienced player. So you've got to be careful that you bring in so much youth that you haven't got those players who have been there and done it, who know how to see a game out when you need to. So it is very much, I think with Kevin now going, out of those experiences, let's just put Gundo, Kovacic in those positions as well. Out of those three, I probably want to keep Gundo. Because
I'd keep Gundo and Bernardo. I'd keep the two, and I'd sell Kovacic, Nunes, McAtee. I'd keep. The reason is you're still going to need some bench players, and I don't like calling bench players. You're still going to need some rotational players.
Yeah, but the rotational players that we need are players that can't just be bench warmers. They need to be players who are going to challenge, who want to be in the first 11. That's where we've gone wrong over the last couple of seasons.
I don't think you'll get that. Not the same quality.
Do you think?
That's what
do
end up
do any of you guys think Bernardo might become rotational next season?
That's what I'm saying. Bernardo for a year, for his last year of his contract, I think Bernardo will be okay with sitting on a bench rotational, and then you replace Bernardo the year after.
I think his workload for the last 2 or 3 seasons will force him to do that.
Yeah, in a way, what I'm trying to do is probably the easy way of doing it is buy the first 11 players now this summer, and the sort of squad players we can do next summer. So that's why I'm keeping Stones or Ake, because let them go out of contract, then I can bring someone in who will replace them, not sit on a bench.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that I would slightly just counter that too is if we weren't to get a Florian Wirtz, then I think we probably have to bring 2 players into that position. Because I just don't think there's another high quality player out there that we can sign. I think you'd have to sign 2 players.
I agree with you. I'm happy for 2 players to come in if Kevin leaving means it means we need to bring in 2 midfielders.
We all forgotten we got Phil Foden here.
No, but I think with Foden, he is more of, he's not that creator. He's more of that, on the edge of the box, kind of second striker in some respects. So I don't think he's that creator. Like
the only thing is though, what does that make Mamouche, Ozzy? That's the only thing.
That's what I mean. What makes you that winger?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. This is the thing though, that I can see Mamouche floating across the top 3 spaces. Do you know what I mean? I can see him being that second striker. I can see him coming off the left, because I think, depending on who we get on the winger positions, because if Jack does go, you've got to look at, is Mamouche then going to predominantly be challenging the likes of Doku for that left-hand spot? Because we're going to need that rotation, that position, because Doku definitely needs to kick up the arms.
Bob on the right-hand side.
Exactly. Bob and Savio.
Don't forget you got Echeverri as well.
But Echeverri, I think he'll be a bit part player because he needs time to settle into the league. I don't.
No, that's what I'm saying, Ozzy. We're going to need to buy first team and some squad as well. And we've got to do this in a very clever way. I don't think you're going to get a Bayana, because what I'm hearing, he wants to stay in Spain. All the noise is coming out of Bayana is he wants to stay in Spain. That's where he wants to go.
Possibly, but
he doesn't want to do the Premier League.
It's another Zubimendi thing.
His exact words were, the only thing the Premier League's got over La Liga is money, and I'm not that way inclined.
That's fine if he doesn't want to play for a top quality side.
Hang on, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, and not shabby sides. Jesus, man.
But what I'm saying is he likely to get into those teams?
Yeah, of course he is.
No, over the
not Real Madrid, but again, the other 2.
I mean, again, we'll see.
It's all opinion, mate. It's all opinion.
Yeah, of course it is. It's definitely all opinion. But
it's all opinion.
But it's we've got to be bringing in like the right players, and we've got to be making sure that the players that are on the bench are itching to get on into the first 11. I don't want people who are just there for the ride.
It's a great point. Bernardo's been running since 1890. He hasn't stopped. But the thing is, that stat that he's covered the least amount of time, but he's covered the most area. He's run the less, but covered the most area, which tells you he's very clever.
But he's been the slowest player.
The slowest
in the Premier
player,
League.
but he's covered the most ground, which tells you he's actually the most intelligent player. He knows where to be at the right time.
But he's also been quite awful this season, let's be honest, Martin. So he may have been all over the pitch, but he hasn't made
that's
a
what's
lot.
bugging me at the minute. One bad season is eradicating 8 years of greatness.
I don't
know where this has come from. We did it over Walker.
I'm not eradicating what Bernardo has given us in the past. I'm just saying at the moment he is burnt out. I'm not advocating him to fully go, but I'm not advocating him to stay either.
I don't think you're going to sell him. Benfica ain't going to pay 50 million quid.
Maybe not, but I mean, there were rumours that last summer that Saudi came in for him, and if his agent is looking at that option again for him,
it's more of his wife isn't looking at that option.
Well, I think she'll be looking at the checkbook and how many zeros.
Oh,
and his pay packet.
Another one to Saudi, and there's another one going to Saudi.
Just say, Martin. Don't rule it out. Is all I'm saying.
But Dash said he's got. But Dash, we can't be. Then what's the point in having the big squad, Dash? Then it's not a big squad, then, mate, is it? You know yourself, Dash. We're not buying 15 players, mate. Some are going to stay. I do think some people are expecting more players in the summer than what they're going to get. I think some are really expecting more. By the way, big up Fogger.
Martin, I think this could be one of the biggest is in coming in. And I'm not saying we're going to sign 7-8 players, but we may see 5-6 players come in.
You know, that's not a lot, though. That's what we did in Pep's rebuild season. Yeah. When we got Edison, Walker, Mendes, Sane. Who'd we get? Walker, Mendes, Edison, Bernardo. Who was the other one?
Was it Mendy?
Yeah, but that's what I mean. So I think we will get them. But the way people are talking, it's like 12 are going out and 12 are coming in. That's what won't happen. We ain't going to do that. Pep's already said we ain't doing that.
No.
Here's something interesting I just had a look at too, by the way, going back to earlier in the show. Do you know from when we finish against Fulham to when we start in the Club World Cup, it's 24 days.
Yeah.
24 days. If we make the final and we make the Community Shield, that's July 13th and 9th of August. That's 27 days. So in all retrospects, you get a total of 50. The players will get basically 51 days of downtime interrupted.
Yeah.
Keeping training in mind, they're probably going to have to train for at least 2 weeks on either side as well too. So really, this off season, most of our players are probably only going to get about less than a month in terms of a broken month of rest and relaxation.
And then you've got the World Cup following year, so that's
following year,
not a rest at all for 2 years.
Yep. I wouldn't be surprised if the first squad's pre-season for next season is 3 or 4 games behind closed doors at the academy.
I bet the guy having a dig at Doku likes Grealish. What I'm saying is, Bron Breaker, is what people slag Grealish off for is what Doku does. Neither of them are getting the G&A. Neither of them get G&A, Bron Breaker. That's the point. Neither of them are doing the job. Well, the big difference is one's English, one isn't. So we have to hate on one and one gets away with it.
Plus one's been reported that he's out every weekend on the booze.
Yeah. There's a little bit of anti-English. There's a bit of anti-Englishness coming into the Grealish stuff. Same with Foden. There's a bit. Same with Gibbs White. It's a bit. I don't like this at the minute. Just we need to look at them as City players, not where they're from. English, bum, English. I don't get it. I don't get why everyone has to bring their nationality into it. Baffles me.
But I think what probably hasn't helped Grealish's case is that, you know, he has been pictured out, you know, so-called boozing it up. And I'm not saying he doesn't have the right to have a private life and, you know, doesn't have the right to go out and enjoy himself. But I think when you're under the spotlight and you aren't playing currently for your club, and you want to be playing for your club, then you have to be seen to be knuckling down and making yourself available.
Well, the club knew he'd gone. I mean, I get some of them, but the club knew he'd gone to the working man's club.
Oh no, I'm not saying. Like I said, he doesn't have the right to have a private life and to go out and enjoy himself. I'm just saying that he's currently not really in Pep's plans, you know, going forward. And if he wants to be, then there needs to be less of him in the press for his own sake.
Mm. No. What I mean by saying bogus is I don't think we should slag. Doesn't make a player shit because they've had one bad season. I'm not saying you keep them, but it doesn't make them shit because they've had one bad year out of 9. One bad year out of 9 does not make them a bad player all of a sudden. That's my point. And I've seen too much of that this season. And some of the way we've talked about our legends is frankly embarrassing. This season, it's embarrassing. It's not that having a bad year. It's they've suddenly become shit players. And that's the bit I don't understand. I've heard it over KDB, I've heard it over Edison, I've heard it over everyone. And these are the same people who were lauding over 18 months ago over the treble. And the simple fact is, and I saw it earlier on off someone off X, I know it's only X, like the treble was nothing. I've said this a long time, I've said it thousands of times. I don't think people realise what we've done in the last so many years. I don't think they've realised it. What we've done has never been done in English football before. Never. And I think sometimes we need to stand back and smell the roses a little bit.
I think the ones that say that the loudest, Martin, are the ones who in 5 or 10 years' time will turn around and say, I wasted all my time when we were creating history. I wasted all my time bitching and moaning about it. So I wouldn't worry about those people because I think they'll realize it's all. They won't realize what they got until it's all gone.
Yeah,
until it's history. In the same way, and this is historically this happens. How often do pundits talk about how good David Silva was, and you couldn't get a word out of him when he was playing for us?
Bron Breaker, did I start think, because he's Portuguese? Please listen. Come on, mate, listen. I think people have just got to realise it and just move on, but it is what it is. Exactly, we need homegrown players as well. I'm just trying to think. Big up, Martin. What do you say about Ryan Cherka? He's not blowing my skirt up at the moment. Let's put it that way.
Well, that's not a sight we'd like to see.
I have reservations.
No, definitely not.
Him. I have massive reservations about him. That's just my opinion. Matt Fogg, member for 22 months. Foggy, thank you so much. You are a legend. Thank you, sir. Keep us updated. Hope you're okay. Right, boys, anything you want to add? Just predictions on Everton?
I think we already kind of did that with the
tricky game, but the way we played the last 60 minutes against Palace fills me with a lot more confidence. I have to say that you're right under Moyes, though. The Everton squad does look a lot more composed, and they may cause us a little bit of problems because they are not afraid to just sit back and just play on the break. They certainly did that against Forest. They did it very, very well. So, yeah, look, I think this will be a very, very good game. But I think just the confidence that I have in the way that we played the way that we responded in that game against Palace, I think will just be a little bit too strong for Everton on the day.
I'm going to go, like I said, cheeky one each, which I'll be happy with.
Draw.
Yeah, I'm going to go for a draw.
I'm saying 2-1.
Yeah, I agree with Pat.
I think we'll draw this one and win on all others.
It's a decent shout. I wouldn't be too upset with a draw.
Yeah. But I think we can win it. I think, like you said, Pat, I think with the former Everton, and thanks to Moyes, coming back in and doing a great job, it is going to be a difficult game. There's no denying that. I think it will be
always is.
Yeah.
I hate going to Goodison Park.
Yeah.
I mean, Goodison's been better for us over recent years than that, but
no,
we always remember Everton under Moisey and that it was so difficult.
Yeah, look at the hand of Rod. We've come out of there with some. I remember going there in Pep's first season. All these.
Oh, you went to that game. You went to that game,
yeah. All these people who talk about Pep Guardiola's worst ever season, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
I went to a Goodison Park in Pep's first season as City. We got walloped 4-0 by Everton.
Yeah.
This is
it
why
wasn't Moyes, it was Ronald Koeman.
This is why I question some fans when they go on about Pep's worst season, because I don't think they realise what we did in the first season. What we're doing now is exactly where we were in that first season. We were battling for top 4. Why? Because we had an ageing defence back then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Instead of an ageing midfield, we had the ageing defence with Cliche, with Collar off.
Sanya.
Collar off. Sanya. So that's
Company.
the thing.
Was there any shine light?
Yeah. But then we all going, oh, it's shit, it's crap, we're this, we're that.
Well, some of us were.
Yeah.
Well, Alan was.
They're not on camera right now, but yeah. It's
Richard Allen were. But then
I went to you know what? Actually, yeah. Look, I went to Goodison in the formidable season. I think we won 2-1 2-0 that game. And yeah, I've got to say there were a couple of moments there where Everton threatened, but that we were just absolutely on it by then. I think that was when the win streak sort of started, and yeah, we just got the result. We got the result we needed, and that was all that we really needed in the end. And I think this Saturday will be the same. Don't care how we do it, as long as we win.
Yeah. By the way, it wasn't just Rom that we made look good that game, City Focus. We made a young Tom Davies look good.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know where he is anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember Raheem Sterling keep missing open net after open net.
God.
After open net.
Yeah.
Some people have got very short memories in this game.
Do you know what? Given
look like an elephant. I've got a memory.
Given that Kevin De Bruyne is out the door, the last thing I want to hear about is Raheem Sterling and Gabriel Jesus. Because if they'd just been another 20% more clinical with all the chances that they had that Kevin De Bruyne gave him, he'd be knocking on the door. He'd be knocking on the door of bloody Ryan Giggs' record.
Yeah.
Well, forgot all about him. Exactly. Have Everton improved much? Yes, they have. They've only lost one game, I think, under Moyes since he's been there. I'm not. We have won there, but it's always been by quite a dodgy result. The only time we got away with it was the treble season. Do you know when Gundo scored that worlder?
Oh yeah.
Was it like backflip Redondo? Something
back to goal. He scored back to goal.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, and then he scored a really nice free kick in the second half as well.
I know if I tried that, I'd be an A&E. So that's why I'm not trying that. Paqueta now a target. I'm not saying anything on Paqueta until I know his charges are dropped.
True.
Because I know that David T knows this, but obviously we've seen the reports coming out of Italy now about Tonala. He's got new allegations put against him.
Yeah, I saw something briefly the other day.
So best of luck on that, David T. I hope that isn't true, but he's coming out of Italy at the minute. But yeah, I'll go for that. We'll be back Sunday evening around about 9:30, 10 o'clock. We'll let you know. 9:30, 10 o'clock, we'll be back with the post-match to Everton. The City Till I Die podcast. Keep an eye on that. Just keep an eye on it. All I'm going to say is about the Mancunian way things are changing. I'm not going to announce shows. I'm not going to announce ideas. This channel is about to get a lot bigger and a lot better for you lot.
Try and keep it under your hat, mine.
But
You heard.
so
LB,
take
LB
care.
will be on. LB will be back on in 2 hours.
I know, yeah. I've just heard this great idea.
You've only got yourself to blame, Martin. You've only got yourself to blame.
You're the worst at keeping secrets.
I'm sharing the news with the community.
But there is no news because we're not supposed to be telling anybody.
Well, I didn't realise people were
No.
going to nick on ideas.
Well, how do they do
Anyway.
that? By you not
Yeah.
shutting your gob.
Anyway, no, right. Thank you to everyone. Give us all a big favour for your channel. Give it a big thumbs up on the way out. Massive thank you to Alan, the dinosaur, for joining us earlier. Big up to Pat, the brat. You might see him again. Are you working this weekend, Pat?
No, I'm not actually. I got Easter off.
Hey, Easter Sunday night, Easter Monday. Pat will be with us for the Everton post-match.
Yep.
Are you with us here this weekend, Ozzy?
Possibly.
Wow. All we need now is Rich.
He's too busy off
Yeah.
eating tortellini and doing the tarantella.
Don't forget our newest recruit, mine.
Tone.
I know he's not coming on, but I mean, you know.
Yeah, no, he's already announced, Tone. He's announced it. It's on Instagram and everything.
Ah, fabulous.
Yes, Tone is now officially part of the Mancunian way.
Oh, no, I don't mean that. I just mean if he's on Sunday.
We'll see.
Okay.
Depends what time we get done with the podcast.
Anyway, enough about your pod. More about the Mancunian way. Thank you very much.
My pod. Okay. Anyway, take care, all. We'll see you soon. Smash the likes. And as always, up the blues. Come on, Sita.
Bye, everyone.
See you later.